Okay, I'm sitting here at the new user creation page. By filling out this form and proceeding on to the next step, you'll set up your account within Spatial Rainfall Consulting. And then after this, we'll be able to set up and pick our locations where we want to track rainfall. So I'll begin by just filling out this form. I'll set up something like Bill Doe, an easy login and password. And I'll send this to my own email address. So I'm going to proceed on to the next step. We won't save the login. And we've registered and created an account within the website. And to that email address, I get a login and password information that I can keep and use later if when I need it. So I'm going to log in and set up my account. So this takes me to the member login page. I'll fill in with that information I just typed in, and I'll log in. So it says, "Welcome, Bill," and it gives me a number of options. I can look at my Nextrad cells, log out, and I can add and edit Nextrad cells. First, what I'm going to do is look at my Nextrad cells. There won't be any there, but we can still take a look. And so with the account, you can add up to 25 different locations, site numbers, and what we're going to be doing next is adding in the descriptions of these sites and adding in the actual Nextrad cell that we're going to be tracking. And so from here, I'm going to add and edit my Nextrad cells. And so it brings up a couple of maps and some forms. And to start this out, what we do is we work on this left-hand side first on the small map to zoom in to the general location where we want to track rainfall cells. So I'm going to zoom in on my farm and just get it in the general area of where the farm is at. So I'm going to click and I'm going to add a marker. It adds the lat and long and the state to the field. And what I'm going to do first, and you'll always do this, is map your Nextrad cells. So I'm going to click on that button, and we have some action going on the right-hand side of the screen. And it brings up a detailed map, or a larger map of the area, with the individual Nextrad cells laid over the top. I'm going to turn on the satellite feature of the Google Map, and that will allow me to zoom in and actually find individual fields. And so this 160 acre field right here is one of my fields, and let's just say I want to track that. That's on the north side of my farm. I'm going to click on this map. So I add a click here, and it brings up that this Nextrad cell number is 522016. And so that represents this whole Nextrad cell right here, about 2.5 miles by 2.5 miles on a side. And so if this is my first location, what I'm going to do is come over and add in the description of this site. So farm, field, north, and I'm going to add in my Nextrad cell number. So all I have to do is copy in 522016 into there, and I'm good. Now, the southern part of my farm, this 320 acres down here, is also in this next Nextrad cell to the south. And so I'm going to click on this cell, and that'll pop up a little window, and that Nextrad cell is 520965. And so I'll add in here farm field south, and that is 520965. Now let's suppose I want to look someplace else in the country. Okay, let's just say we zoom into Ames, Iowa, for example. All I have to do is go back to my left side map, and let's just say I click on Ames right there in the middle. and I can map those NextRad cells, and it instantly jumps to where I clicked over here. And this is the layout over here. So let's just say I want to zoom into the Ames Municipal Airport, and I want to get that NextRad cell and track that rainfall within that area right around here. So all I have to do is, let's just call that Ames Airport, and I put this NextRad cell number in right there. Let's just do one more for the fun of it. All I'm doing is just zooming out and dragging it. Let's do something like the Washington Monument. So I'm just clicking on Washington, D.C. and mapping the NextRad cells. It brings this grid up over on the right-hand side. Turn on the satellite. There's the Washington Monument right there. And so that NextRad cell is 564282. And so I move over to the left. Washington Memorial, 564282, and I'm done. If I want to add more cells, really all I have to do is just click and zoom around on here, put in my description, put in the NextRad cell number, and go from there. Now to save these, all I have to do at this point, and I'm going to click this button after I've finished filling my form in, and click Store These Points. And we jump back to the account page, and it shows these are my NextRad cells. They've all been stored. If I want to go back and do more, I can track more NextRad cells, and it brings me back to that screen again. But I'm going to take a look here at my NextRad cells at this point. It brings me here, and I can check the recent rainfall for those. So if I click on that, let's look at the month of June rainfall for all of those locations, and I hit submit, and it's accessing the rainfall database, and it pulls up the rainfall for all of those locations and puts these in a table from July 1st to July 31st. And if I want, all I really have to do is just select all of these, cut and paste. I can put it in a spreadsheet and do with it whatever I want after that. And so that's how you go ahead and log into your account, set up your fields, and get going on collecting rainfall.